you met the sports minister, Mr. Mansukh Mandavia, yesterday. How can IPC work more closely with the Indian government? How to actually build upon whatever we are doing, including the World Championships here, the World Grand Prix, as Paul said, that it's picking up pace, the excellence is getting higher and higher in terms of Indians. How can IPC work closely with the Indian government? One, and how did you find the facilities and the crowd engagement here? What is your opinion about it?
Well, thank you. This was precisely what we discussed with the Minister of Sport yesterday, how better ways for the IPC to support the growth of Paralympic sport here in India. Obviously, you have a very strong Paralympic Committee of India. You have a good support from your own government. But of course, we can always provide some support, specific programs, engage, make sure that international federations are aware of the appetite of India to grow in Paralympic sport, in parasport. So there are multiple ways, but I think one of the most important things to me was for me to understand better the ecosystem of the parasport here in India. We had good discussions on that, about the centers that you have around the country, in the different parts of India, how the programs that the Ministry of Sport and the Sport Authority of India have on the Paralympic sport. So we spoke about some good things for the future in terms of possibilities of working together. We don't have any announcement to make yet, sorry, but this is work in progress. But I do think that not only events, as Paul has mentioned, we have 4 years contract with the World Parathletics, so we'll be bringing here World WPA big events to India. This is the biggest event outside the Paralympic Games, so maybe that's the next step for you. We all know about the interest of India in hosting the games in the future. But we have very productive conversations about how we can support, but also how India how we can learn also from what the government and the PCI, what you together are doing here in the country.
Andrew, like how India is bidding for 2036 Olympics, like how do you see India's chances? Because Paralympics as well as the Olympics, they are connected. The same country will host it. So how do you see that?
Well, as president of the IPC and as a member of the IOC Future Host Commission, I should not be talking about chances. What I do see is a country that is very committed to sport, that wants the event, that wants to host the games. You have a very solid backing from the Prime Minister. I was here in the session of the IOC 2 years ago when he was already saying that the country is going for the event in 2036. I think India has a very good momentum in terms of, as a nation, in terms of where you have been growing economically, as a society, but also in the area of sport. So I will not talk about chances. I just think you have a very good momentum, and I think the backing and the push of your number one leader is something very important to have. Talking by the experience, being a Brazilian and hosting the games in Rio, it was important to have the support of the then president of the country. So when you have the prime minister so engaged and so openly discussing the ambition of India, I think it's a very good start.
The question for you is, from what you've seen so far, I mean, if you look at the Indian para athletes, they are coming from rural places across the country. And how do you see, from what you have been here so far, what have you seen, like from a very humble background, athletes coming in and doing glory, especially the ones who got gold medals, silver medals? They've come from very rural places of India. So how do you see India as a para-athletics potential going ahead?
I think there's a massive opportunity with the number of people with disabilities within India, with the largest population in the world. There's a lot of people to reach outside of the cities that have infrastructure, but also in the rural regions, to bring those athletes together, not just to within India, but the global community. So the athletes who are here competing have earned their way here. They've met the minimum entry standard to compete among the world's best. So sport has a way of leveling a playing field. Once the start line, everyone's on that start line. No one's from somewhere else other than the country that they're representing on their chest. So rural background, marginalized background, from the city, with wealth or not with wealth, it doesn't matter. It's about your performance and heart and what you can give your very best. But this is what we're doing here. We're showing people the best. So you mentioned medals, but I always like to talk to the athletes about their personal best, because the medals are just a reward at the end. But it depends on who you're competing against, how you place. So if you go out and do your personal best, then the medals will come. And we see athletes from India doing that throughout this competition. And again, the medal table seems every day to be growing. Last night we saw Sumit set a championships record, have a third gold medal in a row at the World Championships. Fantastic opportunity. The host broadcaster sending these images all across India to inspire people throughout the country. And so I see this event as being a real launch point for para-athletics and para-sport in general throughout the country.